Hello everybody, what's up? My name's RevCat45 here, and today we're going to be doing a comparison between the SNES and the n64. So yeah, let's get into it. So right off the bat, you can tell that there are two extra player ports, or controller ports rather. The Super Nintendo actually only had two. So there you go, right off the bat. Also, the N64 came in a lot more colors. As you can see, this one's green. The standard base one was like a black. Was it? Yeah, it's like charcoal black. I think that's what they call it, or something. Charcoal gray, maybe. But it was like it was either a very dark gray or like a black. I don't know. I've never actually seen. No, I take that back. I think I've seen a charcoal gray one before, but it's been a while. But as you can see, I have the jungle green, because the watermelon is watermelon red. So, yes, I have the jungle green one. So the N64 came in tons of colors. Like, there's just enough. There's not like billions, but there's a good 20 or something like that. Probably, maybe not exactly 20, but maybe a little lower, but there's quite a few colors. While your Super Nintendo comes in gray, and that's basically it. N64 obviously is a lot better in basically every regard, because it's way more powerful. So like it's way more powerful, hence why you can play with 4 people now and not just 2. And also the fact that we jumped from 16-bit to 32-bit, or no, sorry, 64. There you go. So we jumped from 16 to 64, and not only that, this now is capable of 3D games. So before we just had 2D games, like, that's cool. Or, it was like 3D games, if they weren't actually 3D, like Star Fox, like, it was 3D, but it kind of actually was not 3D. This is officially 3D, so, like, you got your, Super Mario 64, where it's like, it's actually 3D, so we actually have 3D games now, which is pretty cool. Yeah, other than that, it's not a ton different, other than it being way more powerful, and two more player ports, controller ports, I guess. So that's basically the front. Front's basically the same thing. It's just where you plug your controllers in. Sides don't have anything for either of these. However, the back has, for both of these, this is where you would plug into your TV, and this is where you plug your adapter into, which the N64 did it differently than most, or pretty much any other console that Nintendo made, where like the actual the box, if you know what I'm talking about, like you plug it in, and then there's like a box, and then it plugs into the console. Or if you're like, you have a Switch, right? Okay, this is newer. Where the plug actually plugs into the wall, and there's that big box that plugs into the wall, and then it's just a cord into the Switch. They actually put that in the console, which is interesting. And then down here, it's the same thing. It's pretty much all the same stuff. So we still have RF and then channel 3 or 4 option, and yeah, same phone number, because it's still Nintendo making these. And Nintendo still makes Nintendo consoles, believe it or not. Yeah, so that's that. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the tops. We'll just do the Super Nintendo first. So Super Nintendo has a power switch, a reset switch, an eject button for cartridges, and then that's where you put your cartridges on the top. So pretty average stuff. And then the N64 pretty much has the same thing. It's got a power switch, a reset button, not really a switch, you don't flick the reset button up, but you press it down. And then there's your cartridge spot, like before. However, this time, there is this, which is a memory expansion. Well, it says memory expansion, but it's actually just an expansion pack, which I believe basically makes it even more powerful. And I don't know about memory, though. It says memory expansion, but I don't know about that. So yeah, there's your expansion pack, and it basically makes it faster. Like, there's some games you just actually cannot play without this, because you just need that. Like Donkey Kong 64, don't have that, you ain't playing the game. And that's just how it goes. So yeah, that actually has an expansion pack. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. While I have the N64, we can look at the bottoms. So on the bottom, really there's just one exit port, which would be for something if Nintendo ever decided to make an add-on for. They could. However, really the only add-on I can think of was the what was the add-on? Oh, jeez. The N64 DD, which was only ever released in Japan for a short while. And the N64 DD, basically what it was is DD stands for disk drive, so it actually used floppy disks, which is pretty interesting. But, yeah, we never got that here in America. And I'm pretty sure you have to have a Japan N64 to play the games, because region lock. So, well, it's not really region locking then, but it was different, slightly different shaped cartridges, so you can actually plug them into, like, you know, a US version or vice versa. So, and then by the time we got to the GameCube, then it was actually region locked, so you can actually do that. But of course, there was add-ons that you could buy that would allow you to play other region games. But so you actually have to have a Japan N64, because the games you actually have to have are Japan, because you can't play American games, because it was never made for the N64 DD was never made for the American N64. There you go. So here's the Super Nintendo. We'll check out the bottom. I believe, again, yeah, we have one exit port here in the corner, which is a lot smaller this go around. However, nothing, to my knowledge, was ever made for the Super Nintendo, but rather, I know in Japan, I'm fairly certain the Famicom, which is the Japan version of the Super Nintendo, I believe the Famicom did get some, a few add-ons. I could be wrong, but I think the Famicom the Super Famicom may have got some add-ons, but nothing was ever made for the Super Nintendo. So, at least to my knowledge. So yeah. So those are the consoles. I think now we move on to cartridges. Let's compare cartridges. So actually, cartridges are fairly pretty much the same size. As you can see, the Super Nintendo is actually in the back here, and then the N64 is here in the front. So as you saw, they're pretty similar in size, but the N64s are definitely a little bit smaller. However, the N64s feel just a little bit heavier, but that might be because it's more compact. So there's, there's more weight in a little smaller area, I guess. Yeah, so as you can see, cartridges aren't a ton different. Still pretty much your basic gray. Obviously, there's a very few amount of games that have them in different colors. The only thing is, which you probably know, because everyone complains about it, no end labels on the N64. But since I'm not really displaying cartridges yet, and I will later, it doesn't bother me right now, but obviously it will later. Actually, I take that back. In my Nintendo collection, I am actually displaying them, but I have them facing up like this, so you can actually see the games. Yeah. Oh yeah, and sorry I haven't given a tour of my Nintendo collection. There's still one thing I want to do to it before I show it off. However, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it this summer, so I might just have to do it without showing you what that is. Which is fine, because it'll be there next year. So, yeah. Hopefully, my new Nintendo room will be... Not a room, it's like a wall. Okay, remember it was a corner, now it's a wall, so we expanded. Yeah, I hope I get to show that off pretty soon. Okay, so now we're going to do controllers. And there's a major difference, controller-wise. So, this is the Super Nintendo controller, and this is the N64 controller. So as you can already tell, there's already way more going on with the N64 controller. So if we just go ahead and compare them, both have the D-pad. This one has a start and a select, however N64 just has a select. The N64 also has a joystick, which is not a super great one, because it's basically like rubber grinding on rubber. So eventually these become loose and then pretty much useless. So third-party ones, especially new ones, are pretty much looking a lot better, because then you can get a joystick that won't wear out, and plus then you're not breaking like originals. So yeah. So the buttons over here are A, B, X, Y on the Super Nintendo. However, it's only A, B on the N64. But then you also have the C buttons, which is just up, down, left, and right. Basically in button format. So you have two more buttons off the bat right there. And then last but not least, on the bottom here, which you can't really see too well, but the N64 has, the Super Nintendo has two buttons, two shoulder buttons, L and R, while the N64 has two shoulder buttons, L and R, but it also has a trigger down here, which is Z. So, there's that. Oh, and then also here, there's like this little thing that you can put stuff. So this is a memory card. This is a off-brand one. It also is labeled Donald Duck, so I'm assuming this is for Donald Duck. A Donald Duck game. However, this one doesn't work, but it's off-brand, so it doesn't matter. So this is a storage, so you can save your games on there, in case they don't have them. Like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time has a battery built in, so you can just play and save off that battery. However, not all games do, like Road Rash 64, where if you want to save the game, you actually have to have a save pack on you, so that way you can save the game. Otherwise, you have to start from the beginning, which doesn't really matter, because it's not like a game with a story. It's just Road Rash 64 is like you just driving. That's it. It's a bike game. Yeah. But there's like levels, so but they're not like, it's not like a story, so if you just start back at the beginning, it's not super bad. But it's nice to keep going. Anyways, yeah. Also, the N64 controller looks kind of weird. It kind of looks like you need 3 hands to play it. And, well, you're not wrong. However, what Nintendo was going for here was you use it in sections. Basically, 3 sections. So some games might use the D-pad and the thumbstick, right? Okay, makes sense. Some games might use the D-pad and the buttons. And then some games might use the D-pad, or the thumbstick, and then the buttons. So basically, they kind of made it like a combo thing, where you're supposed to use it like, you don't use all 3 parts at once, which is interesting. Which is also why I think they put this button here, because then that way it's like another bumper, so you don't have to like go over to this button. Which you still can. Some games still have that do something, but it's like not something super important. Yeah, that's kind of it. N64, just a ton more superior. Oh wait, no. Oh yeah, I forgot. Before we finish talking about this I said was a storage, like a memory pack. Well, they made other packs too. So there's also a rumble pack, so you can feel nice rumbles while you're playing. And then, I think there was one more. Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. But, yeah. So anyways, that's kind of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And, this oh yeah, before I do end again, there is this video is going up a little earlier than it normally would, and that's because I'm going on vacation, so I don't have time to upload it throughout the rest of the week. So this one will be out a little bit earlier than normal, but yeah, so this will be that week's video, whatever. I think I'm gonna try and get this out Sunday, but if it doesn't end up getting out Sunday, well then I guess it'd just be Saturday, wouldn't it? Today's Friday? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get the video out Sunday, which obviously will be a little bit earlier, because normally I upload around Friday-ish. So it'll be a lot earlier, but that's because I'm on vacation. So that'll count as next week's video. Or this, well, I guess Sunday is technically the start of the week, isn't it? Ha! Fooled you week. I win. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.